Hi everyone, and welcome to week 2 of book club. I've had a lot of holidays kind of throw us off course a little bit, more than I expected, but here is our second week. This week we are going to be reading about Prometheus. It is a Roman myth, also Greek, so I'll try to give you the Greek equivalent names of the Roman gods as we go through, as long as I know what they are. I should remember them all. I'm much more familiar with the Greek than the Roman, so it might take me a second to rewire my brain, but I'll figure it out. Alright, I will be down below. If you're here, just go ahead and say hi. We'll talk a little bit about the story and you all can listen. Alright. Many centuries ago, there lived two brothers, Prometheus, or forethought, and Epimetheus, or afterthought. They were the sons of those titans who had fought against Jupiter, or Zeus, and had been sent in chains to the great prison house of that lower world. But for some reason, the two brothers, Prometheus and Epimetheus, had escaped punishment. Prometheus, however, did not care for idle life among the gods on Mount Olympus. Instead, he preferred to spend time on Earth, helping men to find easier and better ways of living. For the children of Earth were not happy as they had been in the golden days when Saturn, or Cronos, the Titan, had ruled. Indeed, they were very poor and wretched and cold, without fire, without food, and with no shelter, only miserable caves. With fire, they could at least warm their bodies and cook their food, Prometheus thought. And later, they could make tools and build houses for themselves and enjoy some of the comforts of the gods. So Prometheus went to Jupiter and asked that he might be permitted to carry fire to the earth. But Jupiter shook his head in wrath. "Fire indeed," he exclaimed. "If men had fire, they would soon be strong and wise as we who dwell on Olympus. Never will I give my consent." Prometheus made no reply, but he didn't give up his idea of helping men. Some other way must be found, he thought. Then one day, as he was walking among the reeds, he broke off one, seeing that its hollow stalk was filled with a dry, soft pith, exclaimed, "At last! In this I can carry fire, and the children of men shall have the great gift in spite of Jupiter." Immediately, taking a long stalk in his hands, he set out for the dwelling of the sun in the far east. He reached there in the early morning, just as Apollo's chariot was about to begin its journey across the sky. Lighting his reed, he hurried back, carefully guarding the precious spark that was hidden in its hollow stalk. I would not suggest doing this at home. Don't light reed stalks on fire. Not part of the story, just casual warning, don't do that. Then he showed men how to build fires for themselves, and it was not long before they began to do all the wonderful things of which Prometheus had dreamed. They learned to cook and domesticate animals, and to till the fields, and to mine precious metals and melt them into tools and weapons. And they came out of their dark and gloomy caves and built for themselves beautiful houses of wood and stone. And instead of being sad and unhappy, they began to laugh and to sing. "Behold, the age of gold has come again," they said. But Jupiter was not so happy. He saw that men were gaining daily greater power, and their very prosperity made him angry. "That young Titan," he cried out when he heard what Prometheus had done, "I will punish him." But before punishing Prometheus, he decided to vex the children of men. So he gave a lump of clay to his blacksmith, Vulcan, or Hephaestus, and told him to mold it into the form of a woman. When the work was done, he carried it to Olympus. Jupiter called to the other gods to bring them together, bidding them to give her each a gift. One bestowed upon her beauty, another kindness, another skill, another curiosity, and so on. Jupiter himself gave her the gift of life, and they named her Pandora. Do you see where this is going? Pandora means all gifted. Then Mercury, or Hermes, the messenger of the gods, took Pandora and led her down the mountainside to the place where Prometheus and his brother were living. Epimetheus, here is a beautiful woman that Jupiter has sent to be your wife, he said. Epimetheus was delighted and soon loved Pandora very deeply because of her beauty and her goodness. Now Pandora had brought with her a gift from Jupiter, a golden casket. Athena had warned her never to open the box, but she should not help wondering what it contained. Perhaps it held beautiful jewels. Why should they go to waste? At last she could not contain her curiosity any longer. She opened the box just a little to take a peep inside. Immediately there was a buzzing, whirring sound, and before she could snap down the lid, 10,000 ugly little creatures had jumped out. They were diseases and troubles, and very glad they were to be free. All over the earth they flew, entering into every household and carrying sorrow and distress wherever they went. How Jupiter must have laughed when he saw the result of Pandora's curiosity. Soon after this, the god decided that it was time to punish Prometheus. He called Strength and Force and bade them to seize the Titan and carry him to the highest peak of the Caucasus Mountains. Then he sent Vulcan to bind him with iron chains, making arms and feet fast to the rocks. Vulcan was sorry for Prometheus, but dared not disobey. So the friend of many lay miserably bound, naked to the winds, while the storms beat about him and an eagle tore at his liver with its cruel talons. But Prometheus did not utter a groan in spite of all his suffering. He was completely silent. Year after year he lay there in agony, and yet he would not complain. He wouldn't beg for mercy or repent what he had done. Men were sorry for him, but could do nothing. Then, one day, a beautiful white cow passed over the mountains and stopped to look at Prometheus with sad eyes. "I know you," Prometheus said. "You are Io, once a fair and happy maiden dwelling in the Argos, doomed by Jupiter and his jealous queen to wander over the earth and the skies. Go southward, then west until you come to a great river, the Nile. There you shall become a maiden, fairer than ever before, and shall marry a king of that country. And from your race shall spring the hero who will break my chains and set me free." Centuries passed, and then a great hero, Hercules, came to the Caucasus Mountains. He climbed to the rugged peak, slew the fierce eagle, and with mighty blows broke the chains that bound the friend of man, Prometheus. Whoa, camera, stop wiggling. Okay. Thank you everyone for coming to listen to this story. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, if you come back next week, Friday at 3 p.m. we will be doing another live story, and you can chat with me down in the chat. I always want to go down in the chat, but it could also be to the side if you're on mobile, so I don't know. There's a chat somewhere on the screen. I'm there, and we'll talk with you all about the story. I hope you like this story. Again, it's one from Roman mythology, also Greek. They kind of blur together. The Romans kind of absorbed a lot of the Greek culture. And I do believe the story was originally Greek, which is why I gave you the Greek versions of the gods as well as the Romans in which it's written. But I hope you like this story, and I will see you all next week. Bye.